Hello and welcome back to ONC on Ground News Channel. Today is your Thursday update. So far, we have new news coming from the north of Gondar in northern Ethiopia. Um, so we have updates that the TDF has actually passed Debark and has passed Debark and is besieging Debark at the moment and some reports are claiming that Dachau has been taken, although it is still unclear. Uh, for example, in the Wikipedia map, it shows the park under siege and Dachau under TDF control, as well as Debat, which shows it is contested at the moment. This is a huge update since before the Debark was the frontier. No one has even contested Debark. Most of the TDF forces that pushed into Amara and in western Tigray stopped at Debark around these mountains. So this push is completely on its own. It's a new push we haven't seen before. Other, this is a new offensive that they are starting. Before, they started from Koran and went their way almost nearly to Debar, and will get to Hayk. But at the moment, this push is a remarkable push from TDF since we haven't seen anything from the north of Ethiopia and Gondar. And reports from Wikipedia and their sources are claiming that TDF has actually surrounded the bark and are contesting Debat. So this is a not really confirmed since we would have had pictures from Debark and Debat and other sources claiming this, and there will be a lot of losses and photos being released from TDF. So until we get sources that are confirming these wins for TDF, it is still unclear, and this map is more likely what it is at the moment, and the most likely thing that is going on is that near the cow there is fighting, and in Debat there is fighting. So I wouldn't say the amount of soldiers here is a lot compared to the southern front near Debar and Desi. This might be skirmishes between two forces. However, another update that has came from Tigray, which is that the Tekeze River, um, which was destroyed during the retreat of, or the withdrawal of RARF and ENDF forces from Tigray, has now been reconstructed. This this is a bridge that connects Shire and Maitseber, which is in the north, Shire, which is around here, which is in the northern part of Tigray, which also connects to Maitseber, which is in the western, southern, or southwest part of Tigray. These two towns being connected by this river or by this bridge is significant in moving supplies, moving soldiers, moving aid, and all sorts of things. So, in the beginning of the offensive in the south, as we've seen in Desi, near Desi, and Debre Tabor, the offensive was really quick. They almost got near to Debre Tabor in around a week. Got or besieged Weldia within the first week of capturing Almata. This push was quick, it was fast, although they are facing heavy resistance from both ENDF and ARF forces. However, this is a completely different story. They captured parts of Western Tigray, especially the main town of Maitseber or Maitseber. So this push has been incredibly slow compared to the push in the south. We can assume that one is the supply lack in that there isn't as much soldiers, equipment, and supplies that is able to take the lands in the north compared to the south, um, especially when the main river, Tekeze, and the main bridge is blocking any sort of movement along this major highway connecting most of Tigrayan towns and access points. So this completion of this river is a huge, huge improvement for TDF forces in that they can move things faster, and most of our forces are able to pass through Tigray, and the movement of forces is much easier since this river is this obstacle is gone. So any push here in the north is much more feasible in that soldiers, ammunition, supplies can much move much faster, which allows for forces to push much more quickly. We haven't really had any confirmation that the park is under siege. We have actually seen the opposite, with photos being released of captives of near Debark, captives near the town of Maitsemere. So it is really contested, and it's truly unclear of the situation on the ground. However, we can assume that there is sort of a fight near the mountains and fight along these highways, although I would say it is not intense, nor it is more likely just skirmishes around these towns. The Wikipedia map, however, makes it seem as it is a much serious note where it is being sieged. That is most likely not the case. Same thing with the capture of the cow. This town is a major capture if it is captured, since it is south of the Bark. And if it is true, then the Bark is completely cut off of any supplies, which is a massive, massive win for TDF. However, we have not received any updates, or the updates that are coming out have not been public. So once we get reports of the cow being captured, equipment, soldiers being captured, we can confirm that the cow is captured, resulting in the bark being sieged. I would say the TDF avoiding the bark, since it is a much harder task to take the bark compared to just moving around these mountains and going around the bark and moving around. This is also another update, since Debark is, other than Debat, I would say, is a major city on this highway that leads to Gondar, one of the largest cities in Hamara. So the capture of Debark and the leading capture of Debat, Debat is a major news for the TDF force that would be pushing from the north. However, it is I want to emphasize this as in that we need more confirmation. Other than that, we don't know. We truly don't know what is going on between these towns and whether Debark is really captured. We've been getting conflicting reports from both sides that um, TDF forces has been pushed back, or TDF forces have been captured near here. So we just need more time to get more information. But this is a strong indication that TDF forces are starting a new offensive, s- resulting from the completion of this bridge that allows for more movement of soldiers and ammunition. Moving down in the south, we haven't really heard of anything from Gashena, although we are more likely that it is more likely that Gashena is under TDF control. Um, Before it was contested, now it is more than likely that Gashena is being controlled by the TDF. This comes as Debark is taken with a large force of RF and ENDF forces. So I would assume in the coming weeks that this new offensive down the south will also we will also be seeing a new offensive as we saw in the last weeks, to take Debre Tabor and move more westward into Amara. So this pushback from ENDF forces and RF forces is remarkable, but this Gashena recapture is really worrisome in that their supply line is regained. Falakith is not even confirmed for ENDF, so there might be an upcoming push back all the way to Debre Tabor if we see any movement near Debre Zabit. Um, Another news we are still waiting for and have not confirmed yet is the TPLF force pushing south to Hayk. If it is true, it is probably uh, it's a strong sign that ENDF forces are losing the southern front. Um, this would more likely result in Desi being shelled, Desi being uh, resulting in Desi being under siege. I would say that most of Ethiopian forces are trying to prevent this, which is in this highway there are going to be heavy fighting to prevent Desi to fall, since Desi is one of the largest cities. So we haven't really received any news. Same thing with Wikipedia, which is reporting hike being taken. As before, I have said that there has been reports of Hike and soldiers near Hike and on the highway near Hike, but we have no confirmation that these three towns are actually under control. So unless new information from TDF forces and new picture confirmation comes out, we cannot call these towns for TDF forces. However, it is more likely as the day goes on that TDF forces are strongly in this area trying to take Desi. So take what you see from Wikipedia with a grain of salt. It is a more likely indication and assumption than the truth. I would say this map is mostly true. It takes more confirmation, picture confirmation, sources to update the map. Um, that has been your update for Thursday. Mostly the front lines are actually similar, and there hasn't been new news of the front lines from Wachale to Hike. All I can say is there's strong indication that there is fighting between here, and afar it is still similar from the previous 2 days. There hasn't been any major updates, although we are suggesting there is still fighting around this area, borders of Tigray and Afar. And the major news that we've seen today and the biggest update is the major push south all the way to Debat and Wikipedia claiming the cow for TDF and Debark being cut off. This has been your update on Ground News Channel. Please consider subscribing, liking the video. I am really glad that people are watching and liking. So, have a good day. I try to use the best sources I can and with the best maps I can find with the best uh, credible sources that it provides. Thank you. Have a good day.